Okay, now what we want to do is, it's a good idea, you can make both graphs, and many of you did, on the same, both plots. This is for one plot, okay? This is for another plot, right? So, obviously, this is drawn by hand, there's no ruler used on the board. You should use a ruler. What are some other important things to remember when you're making a graph? You want to use a pencil. Don't use a pen because you'll just make a complete mess of it. You don't have to press heavy. You can press very lightly in case you need to erase. You can go over everything with a pen later on when you're all finished, if you want to lock it down, if you're satisfied with it. And then when you erase, it's easy to erase because you did it very lightly, okay? But you don't want to use a pen right away because you'll make a complete mess of it. I don't use a pen when I do a graph, a complete graph, okay? Because I'll make a mess of it too, okay? So the other thing you want to do is, when you make the graph, you want to use the whole piece of graph paper, not just a small little corner. If a graph is the size of a postage stamp, you know what a postage stamp is? Yeah. Okay, just someday no one will know. Then what good is it? Right? The bigger the better. So that you could see it. Yes? Okay? So you want to use your entire piece of graph paper. Yes? Make sure everything is nice and even. All of the intervals are equal. Correct? You label it, and then what's another thing you want to do when you make a graph? You want to, it's called labeling the axes, okay? So this, for instance, would be time, comma, the unit labels. Are these seconds or minutes? Yeah. Why did I put seconds there? Why did I do that? That was a mistake. Well, seconds are actually the SI units. You can use whatever you like. You could use hours, minutes, you could use whatever you like. But most times you're going to use seconds. But these use minutes. So that's a mistake. Okay? So you're going to say minutes. And here you're going to say distance. My shoulder really hurts. Distance. Okay? I can hardly move my shoulder. Okay, now, then when you want to graph it, this particular case, we can put both graphs, both plots on the same graph, okay? So, when you graph them, graph this one first, page 14 first, really doesn't matter. And then, so you're going to say 1, 200, and then 2, 400, and then 3, 600, etc. Clear? And you'll find, because when you made that graph, that there's no estimation, that you're going to get a pretty good straight line. And when you make, when you make the line, make sure it's the best line through the data. You don't do connect the points. You do the best straight line through the data. Okay? The best straight line through the data. Clear? Kind of amazing I did that, isn't it? Okay? So then, now the next one, over here, you have 0, 0, same. You may want to do it in a different color, okay, to differentiate it, okay, when you're all finished. Very good, Bia. Now this one is 0, 0, and then 1, and then 175. And then 2 and 300, and then 3 and 450, okay? Again, you're drawing the best straight line through the data with a ruler. One of the points may not be on the line, but it's important to have a line, a straight line. It's called best fit line. Clear? And I'm going to explain why after a couple of weeks. Why do you have the best fit line? Why do you do that? Now, so for this data, how many lines are you going to have? You're going to have 3 lines. Look at the original graph. So there are going to be 3 best fit lines. You see that? You get what to do? Yes? And then what you have to do, the last thing you have to do, okay, Fred, okay, is you've got to do what? The slope of each line, right? The slope of each line. There's going to be 4 total lines. There's going to be this line here, which is from what? Which is from page 14. And then you have this line. Yes? Then you have this line. Then you have this line. Correct? So what you want to do is you want to take a pencil, because you're going to get, things are going to get a little crazy because you got to stay very neat. I am not a neat person. I'm not. As my mother used to say, I have neat tendencies. Parents ever tell you that? No. Yeah. Well, she has neat tendencies, or he has neat tendencies. But when it comes to graphing, it takes me a long time to make a graph because it's very important to be very neat. Not obsessive compulsive, not crazy, but just take your time. It's not going to be perfect, but take your time. Clear? Okay? So remember we did this, right?
Yeah.
Where you have, actually this is not good, right? That should be 3, right? Because that's right. That was the third point, right? 600. Yes, it's not perfect, whatever. So anyway, this is going to be the rise. This is the run, right? Remember? The slope equals rise over run, right? Yes, you get, remember that? We did that? That's all you have to do. How much it goes up, how much it goes over. That's all you have to do. Don't do the slope any other way. Trust me, in science, it's the easiest way to do it. Don't worry about it. This is not a math course. We use math as a tool. Yes, we take shortcuts with math. Okay, we use math as a tool solely and only. Clear? Yes? So that's all you have to do. And I want to find the slope of that line. What's the slope of that line going to be? What is it? 200. Yeah, that's right. 200. 200. Why 200?
Because 600 divided by 3 is 200.
Very good. 600. That's the rise. Divided by 3 equals 200. And what are the unit labels for that? In other words, what is 600? 600 what?
Minutes.
Meters, right? Meters over minutes. Yes? Yes? That's where I want everybody to be on Monday. Clear? You sure? Everybody's got to be there. So, Fred, I was explaining to everybody that I don't necessarily collect homework all the time, but you're working on graphs now. Is every graph going to be perfect? No, you may want to redo a graph. So remember that folder I asked you to have? Okay. What are you going to put in that folder?
The graphs.
The graphs. Remember you had to do the outline. Remember, Fred, you had to do the outline, the graphs. Anything you do, and if everything we do in class, what do you have to, if you don't finish in class, what do you have to do? Yeah, you finish it at home, okay? Do we say homework? I don't like the word homework. Let's use a different word. Let's say studying. Is that better? Because when you go to college, you're not going to have homework. So let's not have homework in here. We're going to call it studying. So I'm going to grade your studying. Is that better? Yeah, I like that better, don't you? Yeah, you sound like a college student. That's good. I'll treat you, yeah, but I'll grade you like your 7th graders. Is that all right? All right, I think you'd prefer that. Okay. So so in other words, what I'm going to look up over the weekend, the word portfolio. So you're going to keep everything together, and then I'm going to interview each student, okay? And I'm going to give you a grade on each thing in your portfolio. And I'll list them on the board next week, what they are, and I'll even take a picture of it. I'll film that, whatever. Understood? Clear? Hey, have a great weekend. Be careful out there. Okay, work on your graphs. Anybody confused?
No.
Yeah? Okay.